Hi everyone, it's Chris from Cam Designs, and I'm coming to you today to offer you a video tutorial for another free PDF pattern. This one is the composition cover. So stay tuned. To get this free PDF, check out the link in my description, and let's get started. Okay, we have printed out our composition cover pattern pieces and our little chart. I have cut out several pieces. I did tape this one together. If you are new to my patterns, you want to cut on the outside of the black line, and then when you assemble, get these in the correct order. Any pages that need to be taped together will have this extra added taping area, and then they will also say tape to tape piece 4 here, and like this one says align to piece 3 here. So there's 4, 3, 2, and here's piece number 1. First off, you don't have to use DST. This is what I do. I'll apply a piece of DST to the taping area. I will remove the backing. Then I will take piece 2 and I will align it to piece 1, and I am just butting up the lines, the 2 outside lines, so they don't overlap. They just get butted up together, and then I will flip this over and tape the back side. I also print my pattern pieces out of cardstock I get from Amazon. That way then I can just hole punch. I add my pieces to a shower curtain hook, and then I have spring-loaded curtain rods in my workroom. So now we are adding the DST to the taping area of piece 2. Then we're going to get piece 3. We will align them and tape the back side. Let me grab another Scotch tape. Turn this back over. Now this is a good way to use that DST that gums up your needles if you have any of it lying around. Unfortunately, I do not have any more at this stage. Like me, I live in Florida. It's very humid, and certain times of the year, it doesn't matter what DST I use, I can still get a gummy needle, especially when the humidity's super, super high here. So, as you can see, we now have the exterior main completely taped together. Now, once you do that, you're going to want to cut out your textiles. You will, this piece, that piece, are both the exterior main. You will have the bound edge overlay, which will be a contrast color. Then you can either use a scrap of the overlay color, which is the contrast, or the main, and this is going to be used to cover the back of a magnetic snap. And then we have the stabilizer for the flap. Now, if you, on it, it states to cut, this is a Craftex, which would be an unwashed Craftex. Peltex, Decaville Heavy. You can actually even use leftover pieces of cork, vinyl, leather for stabilizer. It works. Less scraps. So once we get all the pattern pieces cut out, then we will cut out our textiles. Now we have this one for the backing. We do have a piece of cut unwashed Craftex for the stabilizer. I'm just going to set these off screen. Here is our composition cover for the bound edge overlay. And right now, let me find, there we go. On any vinyl or cork, most generally your backing is what will fray. So when you light your lighter, you're going to see you have the orange flame at the top, and then the blue is towards the end of your lighter. And you probably can't really see it there, but when you light a lighter, you always want to use the area closest to the top of the lighter when you want to singe the backing so that it doesn't fray. You don't want to hold it in one area too long. You just want to go around all the edges before you use edge coat, or whether you decide to not use edge coat. That is your preference. And then what I did was I added DST to the back side of all of that. And then we have this piece. This is your interior flap. You need to mark for your magnetic snap. You need to mark for your fold lines. You need to cut your pen pencil marks. And then you also have stitching that needs to be marked. We will do this in steps. So the first thing that I will do is get a cutting mat. I'm going to turn my cork wrong side up, and I'm going to align the pattern piece with the rounded edge. First thing I'm going to do is punch for my magnetic snap. Now what I normally do in this case is I will just punch a circle in the center, or you can cut out this entire circle and then you use your washer to mark the spot. Then these blue fold lines. Now since you have secured it to the wrong side, what you're going to do is just basically lightly score through the pattern piece on these blue dashed lines, which are for the fold. And then I just run my fingers along that. And then let's do the second one. Okay. We will cut the solid dash line. The solid dash red line is going to be where you will insert your pen or pencil to hold it with your journal. So I am going to cut. Going to remove that. We are going to need this again, so let's just set this aside. And we want the male portion of the magnetic snap. We need one washer, and we need a piece of stabilizer, and we will need a piece of duct tape. So I punched that hole. We're going to center the washer. We will insert the male section. We will add a piece of stabilizer. We can add the backing. At this time, you can also add the piece of stabilizer. The only thing is I will have to glue it. You could use DST to hold this down as well, but I'm going to glue it. I'm just smoothing out the glue. And then I'm going to center it from top to bottom. Well, your top stitching will be at 1/8. So let's go ahead and punch through that. And I cannot see my marks that I previously made, so I can kind of. Stabilizer, washer, and I don't have my hammer handy, so I'm just going to use my glue's coming out of my bottle, so I am just going to utilize it right there. we're going to use a backing piece. What this does is this one probably isn't going to be as affected as much as the one that is in the main exterior, but you will be sliding the front cover and the back cover of the journal through some flaps, so to speak. And I just want everything to stay secure, so I am covering the backs of the magnetic snaps with a piece of cork. And we are going to set this piece aside. Next, we want the exterior main, and you want your pattern piece. You will be just going to clip this at the straight edge. And I have a fold line. So again, with my ruler and my tracing wheel, I will score that. Okay. Now, make sure the rest of it is aligned. And I will punch my hole for my female portion of the magnetic snap. I'm going to unclip this. I'm going to flip this over. Pattern piece. I want to fold. Actually, what I will do is I will create the edge for this. Is this red line? This red dashed line is the center mark for your bound edge overlay, which is this piece. It needs to be centered. So what I want to do temporarily until I fix the pattern piece, I need 2.5 inches on each side. So I will go ahead, oops, wrong, that's wrong. We need 2.5, not 1.5. Actually, let's just mark it on the left side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to score that line, and then I'm going to fold the pattern piece on that line. We want to, again, sorry, I should have had you leave it clipped. So when you clip, you're going to clip this to your main with the wrong side of the textile facing up. You will score your fold line. You can punch the hole for your magnetic snap. Take it off. Flip your textile over. And again, I'm just clipping it so that it's easier for myself. I'm going to fold this at the left edge for the bound edge overlay. Now the reason I use the DST is that this has a tendency to stretch. Most corks and vinyls do. And I've already singed my backing. We're just going to line the left edge of it. And let's go ahead and remove the remaining pieces of DST backing. Okay, and again, I marked the stitch line on here as well. We will use that, either one of those templates later. So before we stitch this, or before we go over to the machine and start assembling, we do want to install the last portion, the female portion of the magnetic snap. And then we have our second piece of backing. So I center the hole of my washer with the hole that I punched. I'm cutting the slits on each side. From the right side, you will install the female section. Add a piece of stabilizer. Add your washer, and I bend my prongs outward. And once again, on the wrong side of your backing for the magnetic snap, go ahead and add your glue. So while that is drying, I'm going to go ahead and spin my bobbin thread and get my machine all set up with everything I need to finish to start assembling and finish up the composition cover. Okay, now that we have everything all prepped, now it's time to assemble and stitch. Now I will set the templates aside, and the first thing that we will do is we will stitch the bound edge overlay. Now each time I start my stitch line, it will be from this top edge. Vinyls and cork have a tendency to stretch, so we want the stretch going in the same direction. Top stitch length, and 1/8 of an inch from this edge. We also start 1/8 inch down from the top edge, and we're going to stop approximately 1/8 inch from the bottom edge. And repeat for the second edge. Trim your thread tails. Then heat your thread ends. Okay, and as you can see, I have a little extra, and I will trim this off. All right, now that we have trimmed the overlay to match the edges of the main exterior, the next thing we will do is we will, at that fold line on our left side, we'll fold this edge over. Place clips to secure. Okay, now that we have this end done, we need the interior flap. I'm going to align the rounded edges first, actually at these corners, because any excess can be trimmed. may have to adjust the clips. This is actually the top edge. Okay, I have it all clipped. Now this is the way it will sit. You will put your journal in this way. This will be your right side, this will be your left side. So we are going to now top stitch the outer edge at 1/8 of an inch. Now, so that nothing shifts and everything stays aligned, I do stitch slower on a raw edged project. And I'm going to go slower along this rounded edge because I have a magnetic snap underneath. Now I'm nearing the magnetic snap, so I'm going to lift up on the left side. That is to make sure that I stay aligned on this bulkier corner section where that magnetic snap is. trim our thread tails. Let's heat the ends of the thread. And we still have to mark for, okay, so this is how it goes. We still need to mark these stitch lines. Now there are a couple of ways you can do this. You can literally clip it to this, and then you can use your tracing wheel to go over it. You can mark, see where your, these are my cut lines. Here, let's go ahead and clip this on. So I'm going to let you choose which way you want. So you have to do whichever's comfortable. And you can use your template as a guide. Let me go ahead and put that down. I'm going to take a pencil. Now here's my cut lines, and I want to stop about 1/4 inch before those. And on this cork, I can't really see them, so I'm going to just highlight the cut lines on the right side of the cork. This one I'll have to use a yellow, just to kind of show you. And then this is the fold line. You can fold it like this and mark the second fold line. And this is just a chalk. And then you can use those lines as a guide for stitching. What you can also do is on this template, you would have to clip this back on, but see, we haven't marked it. You can literally cut around those red dashed stitch lines on one of your pattern pieces. And yes, I am cutting. These are old scissors, and the tip is bent, so yes, I'm cutting paper. So you can do this as well, and then just place this and use a chalk marking pencil for that as well. So now that I'm done, I have a skinny foot. I'm going to use that as my guide. I'm going to start my stitch line right here at the top where the outer edge is top stitched. And let's repeat for this other end. Again, trim your thread tails, front and back. Heat seal the ends. Okay, and at this time I'm going to trim any areas where the underside is showing through. Once I trim all these edges, I will heat seal them with a lighter. All right, now that we have it all stitched, first off I want to show you, here is your slit. You will want to either use a Fraytech or an edge coat on this, but you're going to slide it through. There's your pencil holder. You can see that really well there. And then now let's go ahead and we're going to put the back flap in this section. And then just roll your front cover around for the left side. And your composition cover is complete. If you choose to edge coat, you can do so at this time. My preference is whenever I use a cork with a lighter backing, I usually just decide to leave it as a raw edge. Thank you for watching today. If it weren't for all of you and your continued support, I wouldn't still be doing what I'm doing. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video, and share with others. Bye.